Namaste. This is our project to document the outcomes of our Natya for Joy and Connection experience. We have been exploring Natya in different ways for many years, but Natya for Joy and Connection has taken shape gradually since 2022 when Ananth started learning dance from Ujjwal Jagdish at the Ramana Maharishi Center for Learning. And one of the key moments was the Hasta stories. So Ananth had learned Hastas or hand gestures in Bharatanatyam for many years, but this took a turn towards a joy and connection orientation once the Hasta story started. And one of the very first moments in this journey was when Ananth decided to narrate the White Peacock story for his 25th birthday at an event hosted by Special Sati. And it has taken many interesting turns since then. And since for the past few days, my 3-year-old grandson is really into the Ardha Pataka or the uh, gesture for that he uses to show cows. But now he's constantly talking about how they cut the wood to make a goshala for the cow. So it has taken a very interesting turn. So over to you, Ujjwal, for your perspective on the White Peacock story. A little introduction to Hasta, Hastas, and the RMCL approach to teaching Hastas, and your experiences with Ananth on this Hasta story experience.
Thank you, Ramaji. Talking about the classes that happen in Ramana Maharshi Center for Learning, it is powered by Theatre Arts for Holistic Development. The idea came to us to take the purpose of dance to children through theatre arts, and we are anyways learning a theatre art, which is dance. So while learning the basic aspects of dance, which includes the hand gestures, so the idea was to include that in a song so that it's a nice way of learning and memorizing those gestures, and also understanding what is the use of these gestures. It's called the Viniyoga of the gestures. So a set of songs came into being where the gestures and a few usages were put together in a form of a song, and that was taught. The idea was to teach it to the children. But usually in my class with the beginners, okay, after a set of adavus and movement activities, when the children are tired to continue further, so I make them sit and we will have a session of hand gestures and other movements, sitting down movements. And it's a great opportunity to share stories at that point of time. So if you have the Pataka Hasta, we tell about how the gods blessing is there on all the living beings. When we say all the living beings, it includes all the creatures in the earth which are being taken care by the god. So all these concepts are taught to the children through hand gestures and storytelling. So when I started classes with Ananth, usually after the same Adavu session, we used to sit down and do the Hasta movements. Then Ananth used to have a bright smile while sitting down. So I just wondered, maybe, okay, he wants to sit down and relax for some time. Maybe that's the reason why he's smiling. But soon I understood that he's interested. Not only he's happy to sit down and listen to the story, listen do the hastas. He's also interested in the stories. So he used to wait for that session of storytelling in between the class where he used to listen to new stories. And sometimes we have been repeating the same stories again and again. When we are learning the same hastas, I would have told a story very in detailed way in the first class, but in the second class, we do a revision of it. So the repetition of these stories also have made an impact on Ananth. So we understood that it has made an impact because when he came to our annual day, and he had heard the story of how the robbers had come to the Ramanashramam and the robbers hit badly. They were frustrated that they couldn't find anything in the ashram. So in frustration, they hit the thighs of Bhagavan, and Bhagavan was in great pain. And he, with his compassion, he told, if you're not satisfied, you can hit the other leg also. So this story he had heard as a part of the Kartari Mukha, where it shows the robbers. So later, when he attended the the annual day, the Natyopasana annual day that we have, the dance annual day, and the story of how the devotees were beating the snakes which had entered, a snake which had entered the ashram, and Ramana was angry and he told, "Stop beating the snakes." And there was then he wondered, okay, Ramana Tatta, when he got beatings from the robbers, he did not tell the devotees to beat them. But when the devotees were beating the snakes, he stopped them and he got angry with them. So that is the compassion. So he could relate to that story of beating to this story of beating that was happening. So he could understand and imbibe the essence of these stories. So I thought it's a great curiosity in him to know more about Ramana Tata through stories. And when in his 25th birthday, when I was as a part of the class, we had done recently done the story of the white peacock when we were learning the the Mayura Hasta, which denotes the peacock, and he was then he himself went to Ramaji, and Ramaji told me that he himself came to her and told, "Are we presenting this for my birthday?" And Ramaji thought, okay, it's a great idea to present this story. And that was a turning point where he initiated that presentation, and he prepared himself well. I think Usha Akka from Rasa helped him prepare the script. And Ramaji helped him practice it again and again so that he gets it confidently. And it was beautifully presented on the 25th birthday celebration, which happened through special sati. And it was a memorable point, and it was a turning point which made us understand that yes, the stories through gestures can surely make an impact, and we can. And as Ramaji, and in the last conversation, we were telling that each of these stories have a seed for the value, which later in life it can we can use it, and it is very very helpful. And that's how we have modified our class, because every class will have lot of stories, and has a lot of interactions where I'm also understanding what he is able to understand. And in today's class, when we are talking about Nayaka Nayaki Bhava, the Ashta Nayikas, that is the eight heroines. And I was talking about one heroine, Vipralabdha. Vipralabdha is that she finds out that her beloved is cheating on her, and she is feeling very very depressed and disappointed about it. And quickly he remembered one story. Oh, this is what happened with Chandra and Rohini. He has heard that story from somewhere, and he said that okay, all the other stars were very very disappointed by Chandra because Chandra loved only the Rohini star. So this his correction he is able to do because he is imbibing these stories that he is learning through the various sources, and of course through the Natya experience that we are having.
The Hasta stories have, been a game changer. So they've had so many impacts, and one of them, of course, is Ananth showing an interest, and it's actually um, provided some additional, you know, spark to his Natya experiences, because he'd been doing Bharatanatyam for over 10 years. And so now this has sort of energized him. And he very clearly expresses that he loves the storytelling. And storytelling was very much the seed that started the Ananth's Adventures YouTube channel, where we are now also sharing resources. The other thing that happened is, okay, for me also it has had a lot of benefits. So I'm actually able to talk to my grandson, 3-year-old, who's very restless and will never sit for more than a minute. But I can actually have Natya conversations with him. And if he's having a smoothie in his hand, I can say things like, "Oh, you have an apple in your, smoothie." And so if you do all those gestures and, talk in a more dramatic way, I have his attention. So it's a blessing to be able to have conversations with my grandson using Hastas. And it's something that we share, and Ananth and I and Ishan always enjoy these Hasta stories. And of course, the Fun with Hastas project that he's doing for the Rasa web channel. So that's again another outcome that came from this. And what's interesting also is that story that, about the white peacock being different from the other peacocks and being accepted in a different environment. that is also somehow fitting in terms of the theme of autism acceptance, how differences and celebrating differences. So it's kind of funny that that was the first story that he somehow ended up narrating. So I think the Hasta stories have been a very important part of our journey, and they have really generated a lot of interest and a lot of you know initiative, because a lot of times he may not initiate things, but with the stories he's the one who's wanting to actually narrate the stories and record them. And even when he's not in the mood, he'll say, no, 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 let's go finish recording that story. So I think the Hasta stories have been a very important part of our journey. What I have discovered personally is, of course, I'd seen him do Hastas many times for dance, but I hadn't really figured out how much we could just use it in a more, you know, fun way, right? Because you see it in the context of the Bharatanatyam dance in a very specific way. So I think for me, it has, been a pretty big learning experience too. So we all enjoy the hastas together, and it's a very big part of our Natya for joy and connection process.
Wonderful.
Okay, so